All right, so Lucas, I had a question come in this morning. How did you guys get started? And then I responded to the comment. Are you asking about the trailer business or business in general? And this person said, please tell me how you got started in this restroom trailer business.
So this business was put on my radar about a year and a half ago by a Christian pastor, shout out Jeff Durbin, who was sharing, was like, young Christian men, here is a great business opportunity for you to start. It's a market that hasn't really popped off yet, and I think it's a great opportunity for y'all to get into. So he was talking about it about a year and a half ago, which is when I first saw it, and I thought, dang, that's got potential, yeah. But I didn't really do anything about it then. I saw it, but I was flying solo at that point, and I was like, I don't really have the availability, I don't have the resources right now to make that happen, but that is a good idea, and I kind of followed it away. And then one day we were at the gym, working out, obviously, right? And Ricky comes over to me, and he's like, bro, have you heard about this business opportunity?
Yeah, so I had went to Tyler, and I needed to use the restroom, and my brother stopped at a Brookshire's. And I went in there, she's like, sorry, sir, our restrooms are being remodeled. But I got the nicest porta potty you've ever seen outside. And I was like,
great.
Oh, God. Then I walked in. It was soft music playing. AC was nice. Smelled good. I was like, what the heck is this? Then I seen a big corporate logo on the outside of it. And I was like, this is genius.
The light bulb.
Little light bulb turned on. And it was something I was really interested in, but I didn't want to do alone.
Yeah.
Because I've already got a lot of things going. So when I mentioned it to Lucas, and he told me about, shout out Jeff Durbin, I was
the ninja.
I was like, dude, let's do it. Let's talk more about it.
Yeah. Here we are. So this is something that we both do on the side. You own your own business. I run a team here at a local brick and mortar store.
But it was something that we could easily do on the weekends whenever we're not working, to go drop off a trailer, pick it up. We've got pretty flexible schedules. So, for instance, yesterday, a Tuesday, we dropped off a restroom trailer for a wedding today. And that was something that we had the availability to do. Mm-hmm. We knew we could work well with one another. We've known each other for over a few years.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And, it was just something that we talked about, and he has experience leading a team. I have experience running a business. Combine those two, in my mind, was a great idea. I'll tell you more about that in a year.
We'll see how it goes. No, it's been going great. I think one of the biggest factors for me as to why we pulled the trigger on it is it was a need in our market. We looked around, and this was something that no one really in our area was doing well. I think there were a few local companies that were kind of doing it, but they weren't doing it well. And so we thought, this is a good market opportunity. It's not like starting a restaurant. They always say don't start a restaurant because there's a trillion restaurants everywhere. And so that's a very hot market to be in. But we looked around and there was no one really doing this well in our area. And so we knew that we had the skills to capitalize on that gap in the market, which for us was a no-brainer. We had to give it a try.
Yeah, and the more metropolitan areas close to us charge it's
you want a restroom trailer close to Dallas, you're going to have to sacrifice your firstborn child.
Right, yeah. I mean, we hit up a company in DFW, asked them for a July 4th how much they would charge. For $1,500 for a day, we offered them a job, and they're like, still too little. Not enough money.
Not enough. We're like, yeah. So we knew that there was a market in our area where people were wanting that service, but they didn't want to pay the big city prices. And so there was definitely a market for us to get in. I think that was one of the biggest reasons that we went into it. But also the confidence of knowing that I've got a business partner that's going to share the load. This wasn't a burden I was going to put on my family as solo. We kind of went in this together. We 50-50'd it. So the workload is shared, the responsibility is shared, our strengths and weaknesses, I think, play off of each other well. So I felt more confident going into it knowing that I had somebody that was watching my back.
So once we nailed it down, we're going to do this, our first thing was research. We started joining all these trailer groups, looking up
Facebook groups.
Yeah, looking up YouTube videos, Reddit, any form of research that we can on this topic to decide which way are we going to go. New or used? Are we going to go with the China trailer? Which I really wanted to do because it was a cheaper option at first.
The temptation was real.
But based on our market research, what people say, we ended up not going that way. And first thing we did, quite literally, was an LLC, right?
Yep, got the LLC formed.
So we're in Texas. We could go on the Secretary of the State website, file an LLC, pay $300. I think it took about a week.
I mean, 30 minutes to fill it out online.
I mean, to get the EIN.
It took about a week to get all the paperwork finalized, yeah.
Yeah, so about a week to get our EIN, and then from there, that was the little snowball that has since turned into a huge snowball.
A mega $1 million trailer rental empire.
Right.
In progress. It's going to get there.
Once we figured out that we were going to go with that trailer, we realized the price tag of it, which is $45,000, like we discussed earlier. We started doing some more analytics on what are people charging near us? What could we reasonably charge here in our area and comfortably pay for this trailer to make it worth it?
We saw that the numbers lined up, like the cost of the trailer and the event rental prices that we could reasonably expect to get in our area lined up to where we could do it sustainably. It would make money each month. I think it's important. A lot of people get these big ideas and like, oh, this would be great. I could do this. I could make money with this. And then they just do it without actually looking at the numbers and making sure it's going to work. And so they're passionate about it and they get started, but then they realize, oh, wait, I can't actually make enough money to justify the cost. And so kind of like in the Bible, the guy who starts the tower, he starts building a tower without counting the cost, and he gets halfway through and he realizes, you know, this isn't actually worth it anymore, and then he just stops. And everybody made fun of him because he's a half-built tower and he didn't complete what he started. And a lot of people are like that in their business, is they're passionate about it, they get the ball rolling, they get together with a buddy, and they're like, let's do it, and they hype each other up, let's do it. And they start, and then like 2 months in, they're like, never mind. And then it's like, okay, well, that was a dud. And so we really did our best to do our due diligence to make sure that we thought ahead.
Right.
What does it look like in a year? If this does well, what's it going to look like in a year? If this doesn't go well, what would it look like in a year? We thought ahead to kind of run those numbers through some simulations, and we put it into AI to crunch the numbers for us, which is super helpful.
Oh, yeah. So, like, we've had our trailer a little over a month, but we've been in this for, like, almost 3 now. Like,
yeah, from the first day, it was...
2 months of it was hard, figuring out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. We haven't even had a physical trailer for
a month.
Just a little over a month at this point. But a lot of work went in before we even purchased a trailer to make sure that it was going to go well. We did our due diligence, and I would recommend anybody that starts a business at all in 2026 do the same.
So, if you're starting a business, before you spend any big ticket amount of item, first thing you can do is free. Do your DD.
Yeah. Don't get caught like the guy who didn't count the cost in the Bible halfway through a project, unable to finish because you didn't think it through. You got to do your due diligence. You got to do your research. You got to ask questions. You got to check with other people in your area doing the same things. How's it been going for you? Would you recommend getting into this business? Because I think if a lot of people are honest, if somebody came to them and they were struggling and like, should we get into this business? They'd be like, no. And you should listen to those people. So doing your due diligence, yeah.
So if you want to learn more about how we got started in this restroom trailer business, you should go ahead and follow along. We're going to come out with about 4 or 5 more parts of this series telling you what we did to get started in this game.